the price has increased 10% per kilo.
Over the past 5 years, food prices have risen over 10%.
The rice compared to last year, about 58% increase.
价钱就越来越高。
What's causing the price hikes? If you think it's only climate change or inflation, well, think again.
The reasons behind food price hikes are unexpected.
Shocking and scandalous.
Untuk benih kerang yang dihantar ke negeri-negeri lain tu di luar kawasan Johor ni, mereka diberikan permit untuk menghantar, tetapi berdasarkan sifat tamak yang ada yang ingin menyudup ke kawasan Thailand.
I'm Lennard Yong,
It's bloody heavy.
a self-taught cook and a natural-born foodie.
Please come and try the laksa.
And I'm on a mission to find out what the food price hikes are really about.
It's frustrating and confusing because we are facing a shortage. Are you sure you can't eat this?
In this episode, I find myself in Thailand, tangled up in the scandal behind a steep price hike of the most important staple in Asia.
เพราะว่าไอ้นี้มันเป็นข้าวหอมมะลิ105นี่มันเป็นข้าวนาปีนะครับ
What caused this rice shortage?
น่าจะเกี่ยวเนื่องมาจากการคาดคะเนปริมาณข้าวพื้นที่ปลูกข้าวที่มันถูกผลกระทบครับแล้วก็ลดลง
Total loss is estimated at more than 640 billion baht. Several people have been imprisoned at the moment because of that rice scheme.
What do drugs and politics have to do with the price of my rice?
Rice farmer is showing me his rice plantation. As you can see, it's pretty big. This rice still looks quite young. How long will it grow before it's ready to be harvested?
ก็ประมาณ60วันทำการเก็บเกี่ยวแล้วขึ้นมาพอดีก็อยู่สักครู่หนึ่งเรือนมันก็จะออกรวงออกขาวโพลนแล้วก็สีขาวแล้วก็มาเป็นสีเขียวๆแล้วก็เป็นสีทองยังไม่ชัดเจนสีทองจัดก็
I'm in Ubon Ratchathani, a province in northeast of Thailand. Mr. Vichai's rice paddy doesn't look special. There are thousands more impressive rice terraces across Southeast Asia. But in fact, it's anything but ordinary.
โอ้ไอ้นี้มันเป็นข้าวหอมมะลิ105นี่มันเป็นข้าวนาปีนะครับปีละครั้ง
Hom Mali, or fragrant Thai jasmine rice, is one of Thailand's premium exports. It was named the best rice in the world, not once, but 5 times, at the World Rice Conference. This is also the kind of rice that I grew up eating, just like most Singaporeans. Because of its taste and texture, it's the key ingredient in our local favorite, chicken rice. Thai jasmine rice is also preferred by Chinese restaurants. But quality comes at a price.
Has the price increased over the years?
Yes, the past 5 years, the rice has been increased more than 10%. Yes, 50 kilos of rice costs about $100. Just recently, about 1 month ago, it increased another $8 for 50 kilos. So it'll be around 108, inclusive GST. So it's a short. I never use rice that's so expensive.
Singapore imports 40% of its rice from Thailand. That's far more than from any other country. But the local rice importers have been on a high alert since last year, because the price of this exquisite rice has gone up by 58%. So I've traveled to Thailand to find out the reasons why. The province of Ubon Ratchathani in northeastern Thailand is one of the main areas where Thai jasmine rice is grown, because the soil and climate here are perfect for this rice to thrive.
ที่เหมาะสมที่สุดคือดินร่วนปนทรายแล้วก็ดินเหนียวปนทราย
Yeah.
แล้วก็เมล็ดโตอีกรวงใหญ่น้ำหนักดีแล้วก็หอม
But there is one major issue.
It looks so green, but when you actually touch it, it feels so dry.
Due to insufficient public funding, the irrigation system in Ubon Ratchathani is almost non-existent. So a successful harvest depends on the whims of weather.
แล้วก็ถ้ามีน้ำรอจังหวะฝนธรรมชาติมาก็มีน้ำขังแค่ประมาณ15 เซน
Okay.
โอเคเจ๋วถ้ามันเกินป่านนี้แล้วก็ไม่ค่อยดีนะมันไม่ดีเพราะว่ามันจะไม่ขยายตัวแล้วมันก็ไม่ขึ้นแล้วก็เหยียดขึ้นไปแล้วก็เป็นเรียวๆแล้วโตขึ้นถูกลมมาแล้วก็เป็นพื้นไปเลยนี่
Yeah.
แล้วถ้าปกติน้ำพอดีแล้วปรับระดับน้ำอย่างนี้มันก็จะอยู่ได้โอเคนี่ถ้าออกรวมก็ขึ้นมา
See, I knew that rain was a factor in growing rice, but I hadn't thought it was such a delicate balance. What's more, I learnt that extreme weather isn't uncommon in Ubon Ratchathani. Coupled with the lack of irrigation, it is no wonder farmers here harvest Thai jasmine rice only once a year, while farmers elsewhere can produce other types of rice up to 5 times a year. Mr. Vichai has stuck to growing Homali his entire life. It is, after all, the best rice in the world. But growing it doesn't appear to have made him rich. Quite the opposite.
ขอเชิญเลยว่าทำกับข้าวด้วยกันเลย
So you're lighting some kind of fire starter? So we're about to cook the rice right now. He's using a mixture of charcoal and fresh wood. And the smoke is in my face.
After a quick tour of his rice farm, Mr. Vichai invited me to lunch. We are cooking the homali from his previous harvest. I'm very excited to taste it. But first, I need to master the art of cooking rice over a charcoal stove.
He's like, you're too slow.
Homali owes its name to the perfect white color of its grains, reminiscent of jasmine flowers. But it's the unique scent that truly sets it apart from the other varieties of rice.
The rice smells amazing. It has this sweetness to it that kind of reminds me a bit of pandan, and it has this underlying note of nuttiness to it. This is the best rice in the world. So after the rice has cooked here for about 10 minutes, we're going to move it to this stove to let it cool down. According to him, there is nothing that beats this method for cooking rice.
I can't wait to dig in.
This is so tasty. It's sweeter than other varieties of rice.
Looking at Mr. Vichai's humble home, I'm curious how much money he makes from selling his premium rice.
What happens after the rice is harvested?
ระยะนี้ข้าวทำได้มาแล้วก็ขายให้กับโรงสีขนาดนี้เดี๋ยวนี้ประมาณราคาก็จะเป็นกิโลกรัมละ17 บาท
17 baht doesn't sound like a lot of money, and you have a premium top quality rice. Why are you selling it for so cheap?
ขายราคานี้เพราะว่าชาวนาไม่ได้เป็นกลุ่มไม่ได้รวมกลุ่มกันต่างคนต่างขายบางทีก็มีความจำเป็นด้านเงินทองนะก็ต้องไปขายมันเลยพอดีถูกพ่อค้าคนกลางเขากดเอา
What's the highest price you've ever sold your rice for?
กิโลกรัมละ20 บาทครับนี่แต่ว่ามันได้2 ปีมาแล้วผ่านมาแล้วกิโลกรัมละ20 บาทนี่แหละอยู่15 บาท14 บาทอีกซะด้วย
That's really awful. Does this selling price cover the cost of farming the rice?
อ๋อระยะนี้ขายกิโลกรัมละ17 บาทมันก็จะเพียงพอแต่ว่ามันค่อยยังชั่วแต่มันเพียงพอแล้วมันก็ไม่พอหรอกพออยู่ได้อยู่แบบยังไงล่ะแบบฝืดเคืองไปสักหน่อยแต่ว่าก็ยังดีกว่า15 บาท
17 baht? That's just over 50 US cents per kilogram. In Singapore, even the cheapest homali sells for almost 3 times that price. Mr. Vichai tells me it's because the middlemen set the price of the rice. These middlemen run the rice mills that process the grains into edible rice kernels. And it's them who decide how much Mr. Vichai can sell his rice for. There are more than 40 rice mills in Ubon Ratchathani. They are mostly small and medium-sized businesses owned by families. I want to know why they are paying the farmers so little.
ข้าวเปลือกประมาณ100 กิโล100% จะมาเหลือเป็นข้าวสารเพียงแค่ 42%
I am talking about the price that rice farmers get for their produce. According to the rice farmer I spoke to, he now gets 17 baht for each kilogram of his crop. But it could sometimes go as low as 14 baht or 43 US cents.
So I've just bought this for 15 baht. This is about 60 grams of noodles, which is amazingly enough the same price as 1 kilogram of Thai jasmine rice or the best rice in the world.
With the price of Thai jasmine rice at the highest in a decade in Singapore, it makes me wonder, who is reaping all the profit? The farmers point the finger at the rice mills. So I head to one to find out if it's really the case.
Ooh, so this is rice, but it doesn't look like the rice that I know. Why is it like this?
ข้าวตัวนี้ยังกินไม่ได้นะครับเพราะว่ายังเป็นข้าวเปลือกอยู่และจะต้องเอาไปผ่านกระบวนการกระเทาะเปลือกและก็ผ่านกระบวนการขัดสีให้ขาวเพื่อที่จะเตรียมบรรจุครับ
I see.
Mr. Chokchai's rice mill processes about 10,000 tons of rice per year. Half the rice produced here is sold overseas.
How much do you sell the rice for?
ตอนนี้ขายข้าวให้ผู้ส่งออกประมาณราคาประมาณ 31,000 บาทต่อตันครับ
So how much do you buy the rice for?
ราคาข้าวที่รับซื้อจากเกษตรกรในปีนี้นะครับประมาณตันละ 14,000 ถึง 18,000 บาทต่อตันครับ ราคาจากการรับซื้อข้าวเปลือกที่ต่างกันกับราคาการขายข้าวสารครับมันก็จะมาจากขบวนการผลิตจากข้าวเปลือกประมาณ100กิโล100%จะมาเหลือเป็นข้าวสารเพียงแค่ 42%
Only less than a half of the entire harvest can be sold? To understand why, I asked Mr. Chokchai to show me exactly how rice milling is done.
ข้าวที่เราซื้อมานะครับก็จะมีสิ่งเจือปนพวกนี้ปนมาด้วยครับจะเอามาผ่านเครื่องทำความสะอาดเพื่อแยกมันออกจากข้าว
Wow, so all this stems and dirt were in the rice before.
ใช่ครับ
So even before the real work begins, the rice needs to be cleaned and sorted.
Oof, there's quite a lot there.
It's still in the husk when it goes to the oven. This is a complicated 8-step process of warming up the grains, cooling them down, and warming up again. But we're not baking here. This is to dehydrate the grains. Freshly harvested rice has about 30% moisture. It needs to go down to 14% before we move on to the next step. Removing the husk. Now, it finally looks like rice to me. But wait, it's still not done. These little grains still need to undergo intense scrutiny before they're ready to leave the rice mill.
It's very loud here, so what's happening?
นี่คือการคัดขั้นตอนของการคัดแยกเมล็ดเสียออกจากเมล็ดเสียออกจากในขบวนการผลิตของเรานะครับเพื่อให้ได้ข้าวพรีเมียมเกรด
So is this the final product?
ครับนี่คือข้าวที่ผ่านการขัดสีแล้วเตรียมบรรจุส่งขายครับ
So after this 10-hour process of dehydrating, dehulling, sorting, and polishing the grains, the rice millers are left with less than half of the farmer's produce.
It smells amazing. It has this mild sweetness to it, and the color is just so pristine and white. It almost has this translucence to it.
Given the exquisite grains out of his mill, I would expect Mr. Chokchai would be able to dictate the price he sells his product for. But I was wrong. It turns out, like rice farmer Mr. Vichai, rice miller Mr. Chokchai also has to take whatever price is given to him, determined by the rice exporter.
ราคาที่เรากำหนดในการรับซื้อหน้าโรงสีเราเนี่ยนะครับจะอ้างอิงจากราคาที่ผู้ส่งออกเป็นผู้กำหนดราคามาและโรงสีก็จะมาตั้งราคาในการรับซื้อข้าวเปลือกอีกทีหนึ่งจากเกษตรกรครับ
And how do they set the price?
ก่อนถึงฤดูการเก็บเกี่ยวแต่ละปีนะครับผู้ส่งออกก็จะลงมาสำรวจพื้นที่ครับมาดูพื้นที่แล้วก็ดูจากสถิติจากเกษตรว่าพื้นที่เพาะปลูกมีเท่าไหร่อะไรอย่างนี้ครับ
Every year, the rice exporters assess how much rice supply will be harvested. They also look at how much the current supply of rice costs on the global market. Then, based on the rice supply estimate and its global prices, they decide how much they will charge for Hormali. So, based on the price set by exporters, Mr. Chokchai would have to deduct his operational costs, potential losses, and his profit. Only then he knows how much he can pay the farmers.
ผิดคาดปริมาณข้าวน้อยลงครับปริมาณข้าวน้อยลงก็อาจจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งที่ทำให้ราคาข้าวสารพุ่งขึ้นครับเพราะมีปริมาณข้าวที่น้อยลงครับก็มีผลกระทบหลายอย่างครับไม่ว่าจะแล้งน้ำท่วมแล้วก็โรคในท้องนานะครับครับ
Do you expect that this season is going to be better?
ผลผลิตในปีนี้ก็อาจจะมีปริมาณเท่าๆกับปีที่แล้วนะครับเพราะจากที่ได้ยินมาก็ ปีนี้น่าจะแล้งหน่อยครับปริมาณน้ำยังไม่เพียงพอเท่าไหร่ครับ
Thailand is suffering a considerably difficult drought season.
Every summer brings periods of drought in Ubon Ratchathani, so rice yield is always uncertain. In 2016, when Thailand experienced the worst drought in decades, Ubon Ratchathani was one of the provinces that suffered the most. Such a shortage may lead to more price hikes.
What is the current export price of rice?
Jasmine right now is about approximately 1,100 US dollar per metric ton FOB Bangkok.
Is this price considered high?
For homily, it's quite high. Good news for me also because earlier we make some stock gain in terms of value.
Do you know why the price is currently so high for jasmine rice?
There's good demand from both domestic and internationally for the past 5-6 months. The supply of Thai homily rice was quite low from the last harvestment during the last 2 months of 2017.
It appears in the entire rice supply chain, it's the farmers who take the most risk. And their entire livelihood can be wiped out in a matter of a few weeks by a drought or flood.
This program, definitely help the farmer, but things which cannot be forgivable.
Professor Nippon Papongsakon is a leading expert on the Thai rice industry. He says the government of Thailand has been trying to help alleviate the rice farmers' poverty for ages.
What has the government done to address this?
One of the most popular policy in the past is rice pledging policy and borrow money from the government at a cheap interest rate, and then sell the rice when the price of rice increase. They sell the rice and pay back the money to the government. Okay, that's a policy. But there was also the price support policy by buying the rice from farmers, at the higher than market price. And this was the policy implemented by the previous government for 2.5 years.
The idea was to help farmers make more money while also creating a shortage in the market in a bid to raise prices. The scheme ran from 2011 to 2013, but instead of fixing the rice market,
the rice pledging scheme has brought the Thai government to a major crossroad.
Private rice exporters accuse the government of monopolizing the rice trade, as collusion among a few exporters close to the administration and price fixing could occur.
Total loss is now estimated at more than 640 billion baht. 64% of loss, you can see that. Several people have been imprisoned at the moment because of that rice scheme.
The former Prime Minister faces criminal charges for negligence in her government's handling of the rice pledging scheme.
in an effort to help poor rice farmers, the former Thai government started a rice pledging scheme in 2011. Under this program, the farmers were paid above the market rate to store their rice in government warehouses, instead of selling it to rice mills. They were also encouraged to grow as much rice as possible.
The program bought rice from farmers at 50% higher than the market price. While the policy proved very popular with her predominantly rural supporters, it was often described as a disaster.
The original intention in stockpiling the rice crop was to create an artificial shortage to jack up prices. But the Thai government couldn't sell the rice at prices covering the purchase price, administration, and storage.
Thailand is now in a position where it needs to borrow over $1 billion to extend the program into a second year. But it's popular with farmers who've seen more money in their pockets.
Eventually, the funds dried up, leaving hundreds of thousands of farmers unpaid and sour. And millions of tons of rotting rice crop stored in warehouses.
What is primarily aimed to help the 8 million rice farmers of Thailand can have broader implications on the domestic and international market.
The rice pledging scheme cost Thailand over $19 billion. In 2014, the military government came into power. They made a U-turn in the policy. Instead of encouraging farmers to grow as much as they could, the new administration asked them to diversify and grow other crops. The change in policy, along with the drought and floods that hit the rice fields last season, created a severe shortage of Hormali rice. And that's why rice imported by Singapore has been getting more expensive. And I find out that rice prices may well continue rising rather than fall. Charuwan Chantop is 35. She moved to Bangkok when she was only 16. A daughter of rice farmers from Ubon Ratchathani, she's now a gallery owner.
What made you leave your family to pursue such a different career path?
ก็ย้อนว่าอยู่บ้านมันจนแล้วก็บ่มีหยังเฮ็ดนอกจากครอบครัวเฮ็ดนาแล้วก็คิดว่าเจ้าของเนี่ยใหญ่มาเนี่ยเรียนจบแล้วนี่สิกลับไปเฮ็ดนาคือเก่าบ่ก็เลยคิดว่ามาหางานเฮ็ดกรุงเทพดีกว่าอีกอย่างหนึ่งก็สิได้มีเงินส่งให้น้องเรียนส่งให้พ่อกับแม่นำเพิ่นก็สิบ่ได้เมื่อยหลายเพราะว่าเฮาก็เป็นลูกคนโต
How did your family feel about your decision to move to Bangkok?
ว่าพ่อกับแม่เพิ่นน่ะคือเพิ่นบ่อยากให้ลูกออกมาจากครอบครัวดอกแต่บางครอบครัวเพิ่นก็มีปัญหาของเพิ่นแบบว่าคู่มื้อนี้ยาเสพติดมันหลายแล้วพอลูกติดยาเสพติดอยู่บ้านก็อยากส่งลูกขึ้นมาอยู่กรุงเทพเพื่อที่จะให้ลูกเฮ็ดงานมีความรับผิดชอบ and also now in my village is a lot of the drug dealer and things like that so they want to send their kids away from the village yeah so escape from the problem.
Earlier this year, 4 men were arrested with 89,000 methamphetamine pills and other drugs in a police crackdown in one's home province of Ubon Ratchathani. Ubon Ratchathani isn't just a fertile ground for Hormali rice. It is also along one of the drug trafficking routes in the Mekong region. Drug infestation and poverty have caused the farming population to shrink. Young people don't want to become farmers because of the low income and high risks.
Because the rice is the thing that I eat since I was born, and now I grow up in this Chaluwan, so I won't betray my culture, and that's why I support my family and tell them, give them education, how to grow the organic rice and how to correct the seed for the next year. So I need to use my knowledge to teach them, to tell them, to open their mind.
Organic rice should open up a more lucrative niche for one's parents. But with age catching up, there is only so much longer one's parents can carry on tilling the land. Right now, the average age of Thai rice farmer is 51. The aging manpower is becoming a serious issue. And it is an issue of global concern, given the ever-growing world population.
Do you foresee that this increase in rice prices will continue over the next few years?
ปัจจัยอื่นที่จะเข้ามาก็คือว่าในภาคอีสานเนี่ยเกษตรกรเนี่ยเริ่มจะทำนาลดลงการหดตัวของพื้นที่การทำนาเนี่ยเริ่มจะเกิดขึ้นเพราะเหตุว่ามีการเคลื่อนย้ายแรงงานมาสู่เมืองมากขึ้นมีการประกอบอาชีพนอกการเกษตรมากขึ้นและขณะเดียวกันเนี่ยคนที่อยู่ในภาคการเกษตรหรือทำนาเนี่ยมีอายุที่สูงขึ้นเพราะฉะนั้นก็จะมีส่วนที่จะทำให้การหดตัวของพื้นที่เพาะปลูกลดลงด้วย
So what can be done about the labor shortage?
อันนั้นก็จะเป็นอันหนึ่งที่เขาช่วยลดต้นทุนในการผลิตได้แต่ว่าในขณะเดียวกันเนี่ยเกษตรกรก็เริ่มหันมาใช้รถเครื่องจักรในการเก็บเกี่ยวข้าวมากขึ้นเมื่อก่อนที่ใช้แรงงานเนี่ยค่าจ้างแรงงานที่สูงขึ้นเนี่ยทำให้เกษตรกรเนี่ยปรับตัวต้องมาใช้รถเกี่ยวข้าวนะมาเกี่ยวข้าวในนาโดยเฉพาะในช่วงเก็บเกี่ยวเป็นหลักใหญ่
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations estimates that food production must increase by 60% by 2050 to feed everyone.
It almost looks like we have red paint over here, so what's going on?
Yeah, very similar to red paint. It actually does contain colorant.
This is where technology steps in. I'm here to see what is essentially hacking the rice seeds.
And the rice is now rotating. And with that now, the seed treatment will be put into the system.
So that sort of spins the grid around.
And you can see the color of the rice changing because it is distributing the seeds.
So the chemical just went in and it's got quite a distinct smell.
That's how it comes. So you saw the yellowish seed, which is now almost completely red.
How exactly does it help the rice?
This protects the rice in its first 30 days after planting. So just like a little baby, when a baby is born, you need to really protect it early on in its early stages.
So why does the rice need to be protected?
There are diseases and insects and also stresses such as drought or heat, etc. And so this is what seed treatment does.
So how much would a process like this cost to treat the seeds with this coating?
We're looking at somewhere around anywhere between 10 to 30% of the cost of the seed tends to be associated with seed treatments.
Right. So you mentioned that these seeds cost 10 to 30% more than the regular seeds. Ultimately, how does it benefit the farmer?
This leads to approximately 6 to 7% yield improvement for rice for the grower, which essentially means that he has more rice that he's produced and he can sell more and he can get more profit from it.
Sure.
We try to put on
The treated seeds pave the way to a brighter future for the farmers.
Okay. Than what we originally saw?
Yes.
These will help prevent the shortages in the long run. In the meantime, we still have to contend with the rising price of rice.
Exactly.
I found out that the reasons behind the price hike of jasmine rice are incredibly complex. It can be harvested only once a year, and it's very prone to unpredictable weather. Politics and an aging workforce have made matters even worse. At the same time, Singapore has to compete with rising appetites for this rice with many other countries. all these factors are driving the price of Hon Mali higher and higher.
Wow, this is a huge warehouse.
Yeah, this is where we are actually putting our stockpile.
Mr. Michael Hu is the chairman of Singapore's Rice Importers Association. He imports most of his rice from Thailand and sells it to supermarkets, restaurants, and hawkers. In his career, he's seen a lot of price fluctuations, and he might have a way to tackle this one.
So what kind of rice do you stockpile over here?
Actually, we will stockpile variety of rice. Majority we are rice from Thailand.
Okay.
Here we are mostly using Thai Hon Mali, they call the Thai fragrant rice.
Thai Hon Mali rice?
Yeah. They pack into 25 kg.
So you stockpile so much of this Thai jasmine rice. What is the current price?
Today we bring in top premium rice from Thailand. It costs about $1,300 per ton. Compared to last year, July, we bring in about $700 to $800 per ton.
Okay.
So there is a big change between last year and this year. It's started gradually increasing. We actually work very closely with our Thai supplier. They inform us what is the situation over there.
Yeah.
And then we will try to work up some workable solution that had the price increase gradually.
Stockpiling helps rice importers mitigate the impact of sudden price hikes. Even though Mr. Hu is forced to buy rice at a higher price from the Thai exporter, he doesn't want to scare away his customers in Singapore. So he won't increase his selling price immediately.
So in that case, we cut a major cut in our margin, and then have that margin to absorb by ourselves and give a customer a slow increase.
Instead, he cuts his margins and gradually raises his selling price by 1 to 2% each time. And because he still has his stockpile, he's not at the mercy of the Thai rice exporters. The stockpile also protects him from sudden rice shortages as well.
Because at the end of the day, they are still our customer. Their surviving is equal to our surviving. So if we raise the price too high, we might lose the customer.
So do you think that the price of Thai rice will continue to keep rising?
Based on current trends and based on current situation, we don't foresee there will be a drop in on the price itself.
So how long would it take the entire population of Singapore to eat all this rice in the warehouse?
Just based on this rice, based on this warehouse alone, we take about 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Rice is so important in Asia that it's even used to measure the ability to withstand disturbances to our food security systems. This measuring system is called Rice Bowl Index, and Singapore ranks very low. Singapore is almost at the bottom because, well, it doesn't grow any crops. 90% of the food consumed here comes from imports. Looking at a well-stocked supermarket shelves, it's hard to imagine we'll ever face a real crisis. But having been around different farms and plantations, I've learned that we're only as good as our neighbours, who are already struggling with political scandals, droughts, floods, diseases, and labour shortages.
Alright, so this is our indigenous vegetable garden. We grow lots of different types of indigenous vegetables here.
Yeah. So are we going to be harvesting our lunch from here?
Yeah, the wing beans look like they're ready to be harvested.
Okay, let's go.
I guess, yeah.
I actually don't know what the wing bean plant looks like.
This is the wing bean.
This is it.
Over this side, yeah.
Miss Manda Fu is a farm activist in Singapore.
Color is so vibrant and green. It's beautiful.
Professor Paul Ting is one of the creators of the Rice Bowl Index. Together, they have just published a book about the future of food.
Yeah, the ones that are typically used in like
Coloring, yes, that's right.
So I invited them for lunch, hoping that they could address some of my concerns.
What is food security to you guys?
Access to the food and then pricing. Food has to be affordable, you know.
Needs also to have some sort of understanding and consideration of how supplies, access and quality can be disrupted.
So are you saying that basically Singaporeans should care more about where the food comes from and what they eat overall?
I think that Singaporeans do care very much about where their food comes from and what they eat, but maybe from the wrong angles. You know, maybe they have a perception that food from certain countries is safer and tastes better. I think where the awareness and the consciousness should come in is deeper issues like what the impact on the environment and also on health certain foods have.
But also I think, you know, understanding how difficult it is to actually grow food, you know, to supply the table is important so that people value food. If you look at the supply chain of most food, the middleman processors are the ones that add to food price. Farmers always on the short side of the stick. Okay? And we all know rice farmers are amongst the poorest in the world. I think governments have a tough job. On the one hand, you know, they want to support farmers by giving them decent prices. And then on the contrasting end, they also want to make sure that food prices are low enough for consumers, right? So balancing those two is actually very tricky.
From chicken to sugarcane, I've learned a lot about producing the food we eat every day. I've come up close with farmer struggles, environmental disasters, collusion, and even political scandals. All these issues affect the prices of food and our choices as consumers. And it may also lead to my worst nightmare, a shortage in the food supply.
Not too spicy?
No, not at all.
Good.
Well, obviously this lunch shows that we don't have a food security issue at the moment. And surprisingly, Singapore households spend very little of their money on food.
8%.
8% of the average household, you know.
Compared to 15 to 30, even in some
Even
developed
higher,
countries.
even 30-40%, like Indonesia, for example, you know.
So Paul, what's the link between food security and pricing?
Prices are dependent on supply demand, you know? And that's where the link between food security and price is actually a very tight link. And also because pricing means affordability. And affordability is one of the important dimensions of food security. People talk about climate change. Yes, climate change definitely over the long term, 5 to 10 years, could be a big thing for us. Yeah, changing patterns, you know, shorter monsoons, longer dry seasons, you know, all that affect production of animals, you know, and also vegetables. Okay? Now also in the longer term, an issue that I know Vanda is particularly passionate about, getting enough farmers to farm. But you never know, you know, I mean, geopolitical reasons, you know, could totally impede the supply chain itself. Yeah. A major crisis, you know, in the weather could also do that. Yeah. So the smart thing, of course, is diversify to ensure there's stability.
Learning how vulnerable our resources are definitely made me appreciate food more. And just because of all the discoveries I've made along the way, I'm a little worried about the future.
So here it is, my humble contribution to increasing food security in Singapore. I hope this is the start to a beautiful garden.